Hi everyone. I just thought I'd take a minute to show you what I do when I'm in too much pain to manage a walk. I think it's about maybe 0 or 1 degree Celsius. I also have a cup of tea and a book and some knitting because it's quite warm. So I've got a wool blanket on my chair. You can see the pile of snow behind me. We've got half of our deck cleaned off and we left the snow on the other half. And this is a little bit of what it looks like from where I'm sitting, the back of the house. My garden and my holly bushes are buried. We've got the barbecue out and ready to go. We're going to have some barbecue tonight. A little tiny piece of steak and some chicken. And you can see how high the snow is. It's piled up. Our deck is maybe three feet off the ground. And you can see, and then another 3-4 feet railing. So you can see how far the snow is actually piled up around the deck. This is the snow behind me and the snow on our sheds. Halfway up the apple tree. But that's okay. It's a beautiful day and spring is coming. That's what our yard looks like right now. Almost like tunnels everywhere to get to and from the sheds. I'm out with my walker again, but this time it's all wheels because it's starting to look like spring a little bit here in our subdivision. Still lots of snow and it's still quite cold today. The wind is cold. I think it's around 0 Celsius. But you can see the sign of spring is that the roads are melting a little bit and they're clear in the middle. So it makes walking easier and oh, what a beautiful day. It just makes you feel like spring and summer are coming. I'm in my room now after being outside for a little while. It's so sunny out there that I've had to pull the blinds and the little sheer curtains. You can see how dark it is. That's how bright the sun is out there. So I was out sitting with my knitting and a book and tea, and then I walked a little bit. It's still pretty cold, but it's so nice to see the sun and see a little bit of the snow melting in the sun. So now I'm back in my studio, and I just thought I'd show you this. Well, I've got a baby quilt blocks arranged on the wall. I haven't started sewing those yet, but I have a quilt here that I've been hand quilting. The center medallion is it's years old, this quilt, and it's been kicking around, and I said to myself, I really have to get this finished. The center medallion is a mariner's compass, and it's all being done by hand, the mariner's compass part. See it a little bit better. I forget how many pieces there were in that center part, quite a few. I then reverse applicated into the square. I machined pieced the corners. I also set that up as a square and a square. And I added the dragon's teeth around using, it's been so long since I did this, I can't even remember. I think it may have been a paper pieced pattern. I'm not sure. Some of the quilting that I've done on it is hand quilting, especially here in the center. Hand quilting with fine thread. I also did hand quilting on these square sections using prill cotton. This is upside down, but you can just make out that it's there's some stars, water, and lighthouses. And I did some machine stitching just like around the straight borders. I hand quilted on the dragon's teeth. And I'm now doing the outside border, which is a rope. And I'm hand quilting that with a fairly, I think it's a size 12 pearl cotton. But I did stitch, like when I say straight, these areas here, I did stitch with a straight stitch to stabilize the whole thing before I started, because I wasn't sure how much I was actually going to hand stitch. And it's been sitting away for so long that when I pulled it out, I thought, you know, I think I'm going to actually finish the outsides of it by machine quilting it. And then when I looked at it and pulled it out of the bag, I realized that I actually had quite a bit of the ropes done on the outside. And so I thought, well, I'm not going to pull it all out. And since I'm using a larger pearl cotton on that section, I'm just going to keep going. So I've got it out, and a few times when I'm just taking a little rest, I figure I can sit down and try to get some of it done. This shows, when I get it all finished, I will put it up and lay it out on my bed and get a good photo. But this shows another section with a lighthouse and water, and a star that I actually did with beading. And then you see the outside border. This side, there's not any stitching done on it yet. It's marked, but it's almost done. So I'm hoping in the next little while to get this finished. I don't even have the measurements. So like I said, another time I'll stretch it out on my bed and I'll take a picture and I'll give you the measurements. It's a very old project. It has to be at least 10 years old. I just figured it's time to get this done. I have a son who lives in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. That's on the South Shore, and it's a World UNESCO site where the Blue Nose was built. And they live in an old cedar shingle type home. And I thought, well, this would really be the perfect quilt for them. They have a quilt that I gave them for their wedding, but I think this would really suit their house. So when I get it finished, I think it'll be going to them.